Today, let's talk about style. Here's one of my first images. That's a spot color image. I was so proud of that image, I printed it, found this in an old album, then it brought back memories of when I thought I was the best photographer in the world, and I didn't know anything. So finding style, step one, don't do spot color images. You know what? It's probably gonna come back. Maybe this year is the year of spot color again, and maybe I'm wrong to be making fun of myself right now. This is also a testament to also deliver all of your images in regular boring color as well. So they'll have this image, this very artistic edit, as well as they'll just have the normal color version too. Now I think there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to finding your style. I think a lot of us believe that our style will find us, that after a couple of weeks, you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be like, that's exactly what I need to do with my photography life, and it's just gonna come to you easy. The hard truth, I guess it's not really hard because now you're more in control of it. Maybe it's an easier truth. The truth to building a style and building your style is to do it with intention. So you're not just sitting back, you're not waiting for that inspiration to strike you. You are being active and you're going out and you're actually building your style. So step one, I think it is important to curate a number of images, and they don't have to be wedding photography images, though some of them can be. It can be a variety of different images from across different genres that inspire you in some ways. It might even be a film still from Blade Runner that might be a little challenging to replicate on a wedding day. And you can do this on Pinterest, or you can do this in a folder on your computer or on your iPad. And what I want you to do is just keep adding to that over time. That the more you add to it, the more you flip through it, the more you fill yourself with inspiration before shoots, the more you're gonna average all of those images together. You're not gonna be copying one specific image because it's gonna be very rare that you end up in the exact environment that the sample image was taken from. I think this is true whenever couples also show me images from their wedding venue. They're like, we'd love to do something like this. Probably this. They're like, I saw this image on your website in 2005, and we want it. But when you go into those environments and you're roughly trying to replicate something, it's going to come out completely different. So if you are constantly exposing yourself by following the right accounts on Instagram and collecting images from wedding photography, but also maybe more importantly, from outside of wedding photography, from magazines, from fashion magazines, maybe you go through a walk through a museum if you're in a city with a nice museum, really just making a conscious effort to collect a lot of visual data to influence your mind in a positive way. A quote, I forget what video this was in, I think it's in the new Advanced Wedding Photography Marketing 2023 course that you can get until June 30th. June 30th, it comes with a ton of bonuses. After that, you don't get any bonuses and the price goes up. So if you're interested, get in before then. It's everything that I know about Advanced Wedding Photography Marketing. A quote from within Advanced Wedding Photography Marketing is basically that your skill can never outpace your taste. So if your taste in photography and what is good photography is really, really high level and it's going to appeal to a certain type of person, that means that your skill can get there. Where I definitely kind of got stuck was here, where I thought this was amazing photography. And I unfortunately wasn't really able to progress beyond this really quickly because I thought that this was the pinnacle of wedding photography. Once I discovered some other photographers, specifically I think it was Jose Villa, and his film photography specifically was really beautiful. He also got to work in lovely Southern California light for the most part, which is the thing that I don't think I realized. I'm like, why can't I do what he's doing? And it's because I'm not at Justin Bieber's wedding and I'm not shooting in that perfect diffuse LA sun. I don't know if you've ever been to California and you live somewhere, I'm just outside of Toronto here. Say you live in Toronto, the sun is like really harsh all the time, even into a sunset. So by looking at work like that, you set the bar maybe higher than you can ever create at home, but that is good because you're always going to be striving and you're always going to be getting better. Now, second, I feel like when I was getting started, I thought post-production was the style. I was like, photography style, whatever. How am I gonna edit my images? And this is because when I was 12, I got into Photoshop, and Photoshop was my first job when I was 12 actually. And I really leveraged the fact that I was super good at Photoshop, but okay at photography. And I was able to make myself kind of appear as a good photographer through that kind of trade-off. And eventually my photography got better than my Photoshop skills, and I was no longer able to emulate something as beautiful as this. Now, I don't want you to fall into that trap of thinking that your post-production is your style. I think that it is important to keep your post-production consistent. And this is especially difficult in the beginning when you are just exposed to all these, kind of as I'm already setting up for failure here, you're looking at all these different people, all these different photographers, maybe some old painters, and you're like, I love all of this. I want to make something like all of them. And if you do that, you make a very cluttered and a very chaotic portfolio that no one can really attach themselves to. And I feel like there's a bit of a trust disconnect as well, that when someone comes to your website and it's kind of all over the place, they start to think like, oh, are these actually all from the same person? Because it doesn't really seem like it. However, if you find a preset or maybe a family of presets that, mine are for sale by the way. If you're a member site, you get them included, $89, but get advanced wedding photography marketing. For $70 more than that, you get access to the entire members website, and you also get my full preset pack. So you can start there if you want. I use CL 2022 a lot, as well as TI 2022 a lot as well. And that is pretty much the scope of what I do. So I use two presets. I used to use one called Main. I think 2021 is when I left it. Still good, but I found specifically shooting Sony a little bit more, the CL preset and the TI presets seem to do kind of what I want. And they're similar enough that if I edit some images with one and with the other in a wedding gallery, they feel very cohesive. So your preset is not your style. Your style is a collection of all of the things, including lens choice and moment choice, and also what you choose to show. So I think that this is the third point here. When you've looked at good stuff, you've elevated your taste so you know what's possible, you know what is the best thing that you can make, and you can slowly creep your skill up there. You're not bouncing around your presets, you're sticking to one or two, and your online presence is happy and not chaotic. And then number three is choosing what of that to show. So your style is not necessarily, so if you're a landscape photographer, you get to pick every place you go, and the weather maybe has some influence, but for the most part, you're kind of doing what you want. You're photographing the landscapes you want. As a wedding photographer, you're photographing other people's weddings. So a lot of the time you have no idea what that wedding's going to look like until you get there. And that becomes part of your portfolio. So your portfolio isn't necessarily your style. It's also the style of the couples that have chosen to hire you. Now you can kind of hack this a little bit by, hey, coming out to our Banff, not a conference, Banff, Alberta. It's gonna be lovely. We got two man, Erica and Lanny Mann are both coming, which is amazing. We have Gabe McClintock as well. Fair. I'm gonna try it in Spanish. Yeriasti? No, that wasn't it. Fair's coming, and Nicole Ashley, my wife Lindsay, and I will also be there with the full focal team. And you can come and you can build your portfolio. You can just plug yourself into some bridal shoots, and we have some couples for some engagement style shoots as well. So that is one way that you can kind of hack your portfolio a little bit and hack your style a little bit. And the more that you start showing of the things that you want to show, the more that those are going to start organically finding you. So the struggle in the beginning is that if you're at the complete mercy of where your couples are taking you, that yeah, you booked 5 weddings this year, that's amazing. But those 5 weddings, if they become your portfolio, you're gonna get stuck in this loop of kind of photographing those 5 weddings over and over again. People are gonna come to your website, they're gonna be like, oh, you do exactly what we want and what we're looking for, and you're gonna loop. I think I spent maybe 4, 5, 6 years in that loop before I realized that the hack was actually to just do workshops. So I did one in Toronto, shot with some models that actually were just really comfortable in front of the camera and some new high-end dresses. And then over time, I just started booking more and more of those style of weddings, and that's where my portfolio continued to go. So number 1, collect your images, build your taste. Number 2, don't skip around with the preset. Find something that works for you and stick with that as long as you can. Modify it, tweak it a little bit, but don't get crazy with it. Number 3, don't be at the mercy of your portfolio and get out there and actively start building your portfolio to what you want it to be. Then you're organically going to start attracting more of that work. Your life is gonna be good. That's all for today. If you're interested, Advanced Wedding Photography Marketing 2023, out right now, available until June 30th. So June 30th, you get a lot of bonuses. You get my 3-hour wedding photography workshop, as well as bonuses of Instagram ads, as well as Facebook ads, and some template scripts. So 50 scripts you can just steal for those or modify them to suit your business. So that is $149 until June 30th. At that point, it goes up to $200 and you don't get the bonuses. Also, if you're interested, for $70 more, so for $219, you can now sign up to the entire members website, which gives you access to everything. So that $70 jump actually is covered by the fact that if you want to buy my full preset pack, it's $89. So you're already saving $19 there, and there's another $3,500 worth of content over on the site. So if you're interested, get in on that before June 30th. Otherwise, it's gone forever. Thank you so much for watching today. And never forget this image. I won't. Yeah, I did. I forgot it until this morning, really.